Kamala Harris has announced her pick for a vice presidential running mate, and it's Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota. Walz has a very plain-spoken, Midwestern dad vibe. That really stood out to Harris and her team.
Violent crime was up under Donald Trump. That's not even counting the crimes he committed.
Walz was born in rural Nebraska and has sort of a humble Midwestern background to him, which Harris and her advisor saw as a benefit to balance out her Bay Area prosecutorial background. And in the interview process, when Walz came to meet Harris over the weekend, by far she and Walz gelled the best out of any of the other candidates for the job. One of the things that stood out to the vice president, according to people who are familiar with her decision-making process, is she really liked that Walz used the word weird.
These guys are just weird.
To criticize former President Trump and other Republicans.
We're not afraid of weird people. No. We're a little bit creeped out, but we're not afraid.
Walz is a military veteran. He's a gun owner. He's a hunter. But he has sort of argued for gun control measures in the wake of mass shootings across this country. Governor Walz came under a lot of criticism in the wake of the 2020 protests against the police killing of George Floyd for not calling in the National Guard right away. That was considered, among his critics as waiting too long to get the situation under control.
I couldn't get your governor to act.
In light of those protests and George Floyd's killing, Walz eventually signed into law a Police Accountability Act in the state of Minnesota. He has also signed into law a raft of legislation, from marijuana reform to free school lunches, codifying Roe v. Wade's protections, all things that are by many accounts favored by a majority of voters. Right now, they're sort of being criticized as too far left by Republicans.
My view on it is it just highlights how radical Kamala Harris is.
In the next 3 months, Walz can expect a campaign that gets pretty ugly.
Tim Walz's record is a joke.
That has a lot of misinformation and distorted information coming out. And through it all, I think part of the reason why Harris picked somebody like Walz is she believes that she can trust him to help get her through this. Not only to help her win, but to help her govern if she wins.